just about right away, just a matter of seconds. We were allowed to stand up and turn around and watch it. The mushroom was starting to go up. Most beautiful thing I've ever seen, but at the same time, the most horrible. Found out that this bomb, which ended up to be equal to 15 million tons of TNT, it wasn't meant to be that strong. As turned out, it is the strongest and largest nuclear device that the United States has ever set off. When I got out of high school, I joined the Marine Corps just to be as a regular grunt or whatever you call them. After I got out of the boot camp, I went into combat training for just about a month and a half. Well, then I was transferred to what they call the C School at the Marine Corps Recruit Depot in San Diego. And while there, I was interviewed by two men who I later found out were, one was from the FBI and the other one was from the U.S. Naval Intelligence. I didn't volunteer for anything, but they just asked a bunch of questions, my background, wanted references. After about 6 months, I got transferred and assigned to the USS Curtis. We went to Sacramento. At night, the 50 Marines that were there, us, we all had loaded 45 caliber pistols and loaded carbines, and about a half a dozen trucks that we got onto. I rode up in the front of the truck with the driver, and then there were two guys in the back of the truck, and we went to some big warehouse someplace in Sacramento and picked up parts for the bombs. After we were at sea for a day or two, that was when I found out that we were all on our way to the Marshall Islands, and we on Bikini Atoll, to do nuclear testing. That was the first that I knew about it, didn't know what was going on. The operation was called Operation Castle, which consisted of 6 different tests.
Operation Castle, the 5th in a series of tests at the Pacific Proving Grounds. Another accumulation of men, of machines, another meeting of ships and aircraft and troops. Here was the best of physics, of metallurgy, of electronics.
Where I did most of my job, or part of the ship, that was called the pyro locker, where they kept radioactive material. It had a big thick door, just like a vault, and I was told not to stand within 2 feet of the door. And if I stood 3 feet away, well, I fell overboard because it was that close. I found a wooden lead pencil at the dinner table, and I took it and I wrote my name on that one bomb. So I had my name on it. What it looked like was you have these propane tanks behind homes. It was shaped like that, but it was probably, I'm gonna say 20, 30 feet long, 7, 8, 9 feet high, and that big around. That was it was a cylinder, just like these propane tanks. The first nuclear device they set off was Test Bravo. Those of us who had the clearance got to go up on deck. Officers and your scientists all had glasses for the initial explosion. The rest of us sat on deck with our backs to the explosion, with our caps over our eyes, and covered our eyes with our arms, because they said it was going to be real bright. Well, it was bright. I could see the bones in my arms through my cap and with my eyes closed. It was like when you were kids and you'd take a flashlight and hold it under your finger. The heat got so bad that I thought I was going to burn the back of my neck.
The tremendous yield resulted in a serious fallout situation at Bikini and certain other atolls downwind from ground zero. Even so, the winds were within the area of acceptable fallout.
And after 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I forget now, all at once, it was raining on us, not rain like dust and stuff. And it was mist and water and sand from the explosion, radioactive. So we were standing there in that for a couple minutes, probably more. And then we were all ordered below deck to get, because it was radioactive, and we were locked below deck for 3 to 4 days while they washed the ship down with water out of the bay where the explosion was. So the water they were washing it down to get rid of the radioactive was radioactive. And it was hot. It was 100 degrees there every day. They'd open up the ventilation and draw air in from the outside, which was radioactive. We showered in radioactive water. We drank radioactive water. The other operation I was on, it was called Operation Wigwam, which was going to be an underwater detonation in the Pacific, they said. Distance, I don't know how far it was, but there wasn't any land to be seen. But there was other ships. The USS Curtis, which I was on, was the command ship again. And during that operation, there was a number of old ships anchored out there, plus they had submarines anchored at different depths below water, just to see what an underwater atomic explosion would do. The bomb was anchored so many feet below water, not on the floor of the ocean. And the initial blast off, the water went up like a geyser, just like Old Faithful. It probably went up about 1,500 feet. And then the explosion, of course, setting off in the middle of the ocean. The other one went down and bounced off of the floor of the ocean. That came up. So it was two different, like geysers at two different times. Ended up to be a 30 kiloton bomb. And Hawaii reported like a earthquake being set off out in the ocean, and so did San Francisco. When I think back as to what happened, and even after our reunions, I think back of that year during the nuclear testing, being 19, maybe 20, you didn't realize what you were seeing. I'm probably more amazed today thinking about it than I was then, because it didn't mean nothing then. Didn't care if Russia had one. You were 19 years old, then you didn't care. You did your job. But after you realize the destruction that it could do, and if you remember back in World War II, the 2 atomic bombs that were set off in Nagasaki and Hiroshima were only equal to about 15,000 tons of TNT. Bravo was equal to 15 million tons of TNT. The world is going to blow itself up. Somebody's going to push the wrong button. You got to retaliate. Next one retaliates. The world is done. It'll come.
It is such a big explosion, it can smash in buildings and knock signboards over and break windows all over town. But if you duck and cover like Bert, you will be much safer.
Remember what to do, friends. Now tell me right out loud. What are you supposed to do when you see the flash?
During both Operation Castle and Wigwam, I wore what they called a film badge, which was supposed to record radiation. You wore them in the shower, you wore them if you went swimming, you wore them to get sweat. And we found out later on that the people that were reading them didn't know how to read them. These badges weren't accurate. Out of the approximately 50 people that were with me, at least 80–90% of them got one time of cancer. And a number of them have also traced it down to their children. That don't make me cry. I cry a lot when I think about the guys. You form friendships that are a lot tighter than any school friends, college friends. My best friends that died, that I slept with, ate with, drank with, because of cancer. Why in the hell I'm still here, I don't know. I've had cancer 7 times. When I had vocal cord cancer in 2003, 8 years I fought the VA. Everything in the throat, the esophagus, the lungs, airways, everything is covered except vocal cord. Of course, I've fought it. I've fought the VA for, well, I'm still fighting it. I guess when I first went in, I never heard of an atomic bomb. I guess I heard of it, because of World War II, but never thought about being any part of it. But I guess after it's all over with, I'm glad it was to see the destruction, or what the destruction can be. And you only hope for the best, that people that are running the countries, are running the world, are smart enough to know that, I don't know, I can't say. coming from rural Minnesota on a farm, feeding pigs and horses and cows, and all once you're witnessing destruction like that, it wakes you up. It wakes you up big time. Not at that time, but as the years go by, you realize you maybe gain a little common sense. And all you can do is hope other people do too.
Visit pioneer.org/postcards to catch up on missed episodes and to find out more about your favorite segments. Postcards is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota. Additional support provided by Margaret A. Cargill Philanthropy, Mark and Margaret Yackel-Julien on behalf of Shalom Hill Farms, a retreat and conference center in a prairie setting near Windham, Minnesota. On the web at shalomhillfarm.org. Alexandria, Minnesota, a year-round destination with hundreds of lakes, trails, and attractions for memorable vacations and events. More information at explorealex.com. The Lake Region Arts Council's Arts Calendar, an arts and cultural heritage funded digital calendar showcasing upcoming art events and opportunities for artists in West Central Minnesota. On the web at lrac4calendar.org.